Hello guys, in this tutorial we're gonna learn how to create real image as a background for button. So I don't wanna play around with button 1 because we tortured that poor thing in the last tutorial. We're gonna play around with button number 2 because we have clear situation right here. Okay, button number 2. So the first thing is to set image, like where is image in our system, and then we're gonna use it on this line. So same stuff as here. We're going to say that button 2 image img equals to photo image. And now where that thing resides? Well, in my case, I'm gonna play around with, let me see what I have here prepared. Right, bg img, and this is GIF file or GIF, call it whatever you like. Very simple image of turtle from last playlist on turtle. Right, so yeah, let's state that right here as a file. File equals real file and not just a blanco image. Real file equals just the name of that image, bg img.gif. And now when we have that is not enough. We actually need to use that thing right here. Okay, so image equals that real image through button 2 img handle. Button 2 img, this is a handle, and now when I run F5, what's gonna happen? Where is F5? Did I press that? Oh yeah, I did, but something's happening with Python. Just a second. Oh, here we are. Okay guys, so this is image that will work as a button, because if I click here, of course I'm gonna run that appropriate calculator. It's on another monitor for some reason. Yeah, here we are. So the question is, what about size of that thing? Well, right, let me fix that. We're gonna play around with, let's say, width here. Width will be like a 100 pixels, and also height will be 100 pixels, and this will yield us some very weird result, but it will work. So the bottom line here is, if you really wanna use picture, then resize that thing before usage in Tkinter, because my picture is extremely big right now. Okay, so this is just a part of image, 100 by 100. Okay, so why do we have that image on the right side, which is kinda stupid? Well, because of these starting dimensions. Now if we say 0 0 here, then that thing will be on a position on the top left corner. Okay, F5, and you will have result. Okay, this is like a chest of turtle. So what about text over that image if you ever need that? But probably if you really want to use background image for button, you don't need a text. Text will be probably somehow imprinted in image, like through some graphical application, Photoshop or something like that. But still, sure, we can do that right here with the same function, I mean option compound C, and I'm gonna actually just copy paste it right here to save a little bit of time, and then calculator will be written over the chest of turtle, well, at least in this case. There you go, salts. And also everything else stands, like you can change foreground color to, for example, I'm gonna push this down there, to example white, and font will be, for example, Arial, and the size will be 16, let's say. Will that work? And we need a comma here to separate operations, F5, and there you go guys, everything is fine. Just note that if you want to use image, then resize that thing before importing it in a Tkinter. Okay, so now we are going to play around with the button number 3 because I don't want to pollute these first two buttons too much. So button 3 will be activated, and we will set here a relief, and we will also learn how to disable button. So relief equals ridge, and you don't need to use quotes here. Let me show that in documentation. We can choose between raised, sunken, flat, groove, and ridge. And let me actually put this on another monitor, and let's run this script. There you go. And of course we don't have background image because we are playing with button number 3. So this is a ridge option. Let's play around with sunken. There you go. Of course it will work, but it looks pressed. So see, there you go, everything is fine with actually usage of a method. And another thing is flat. Don't try to memorize these things, you have in documentation everything. See how awesome is that. Another thing is a groove and F5. There you go. Probably you're gonna stick with default, you know. But anyway, let me change this to ridge. Why not? This is like a normal stuff. And then the question is, well, if end user doesn't pay for a license, or you have like a trial period of 30 times, so after passage of time, how you're going to disable this button or many other operations, possible operations in your application? Well, you will say here that state, for example, after 30 days, and you need to do this through method programmatically, so through some kind of checking, you will say state is disabled, and now that button will not be operational. And now when you say F5, what's happening? Disable. Oh, right, D will be at the end. Disabled. Now that thing will be visible, but you cannot click on it. So most of the people just use this when they are sharing like a demo versions of executable applications, exe files. Okay, so what is next? Well, see this, we have a kind of need to manually calculate a lot of these coordinates. So the question is, do we have like an easier way, like automatic way to set these positions of buttons and many other things? Well, yes, and we will not use placing here through place method. We will use pecking. So let me type that right here. We're gonna change place to peg, and now we will not deal with coordinates like in pixels. We're gonna say side equals and a left. Now you don't need to use left inside the quotes, this will work without quotes. And when you say F5, there you go, that thing will be pegged to left. Now don't worry about vertical alignment, so let's learn how to move this to, for example, right. Well, of course, understandable, right. Okay, and when you say top, what's gonna happen? See, you will have it at the top, but now you will say, okay, wait a second, but how to peg this like automatically one after another to the left side, like a button 1, 2, and 3 will be automatically aligned? Well, you can use top or left here, let's say, but after that we need to use anchor. And you have that in documentation also. Let me find that. Where is that thing? Anchor, or anchor, and we can use like positions that are like sides of the world, like northeast, north, east, southeast, and you get the point pretty much here. So in this case we will use northeast. Uppercase will get the job done, and now that thing will be pegged to the left side. F5, there you go. Okay, you will say, well, what about other buttons? Well, let me think what I can do here. Because we have a lot of different stuff for these buttons, I'm gonna create a button number 4, why not? and we're gonna experiment on that. Button number 4, we're gonna pack it to the left, also northeast, and these things will be horizontally stacked automatically. F5. There you go, guys, very cool stuff. And if you don't like this relief, then just delete that thing. I'm gonna actually do that right here. F5, and there you go. So this will look like a beginning of some like serious application. And of course, these things are operational when I remove that the state is disabled option. And F5, and there you go, guys, everything is kinda default looking. So what can you choose here? Well, you know, just grab stuff from documentation like southwest. Okay, southwest and southwest, and that thing will be in a left lower corner. F5. There you go, guys, you can play around with that. And especially if your application becomes big, like a total commander, you probably know what that is, then you can use a lot of these options. But I'm gonna stick with default stuff like northwest, F5, and that's it, guys, in this tutorial. In the next one, we're gonna learn how to spawn new window for options. So let me explain. It's like when you have any normal big application, and when you click on settings, when you go to preferences, well, when that thing's open, how to do that with Tkinter. Right, something like that. Okay, don't be confused with a bunch of the code. This is just a message box file. We're gonna not mess around with that, just with very simple Tkinter stuff. Thank you for watching as always, and see you next one.